Sorry sir, wala sir.
Nagdula ka, no? Nagdula ka. Yes, Sir Hermoso, Robert.
Wala sir, napindot.
Napindot ka, nagdula ka.
Wala sir eh, grabe.
Record na? Okay, sige. So there you are. It's already recorded. So again, welcome back, welcome programmers to our session today. I have already discussed about again. I mean, I already sent you a video tutorial on the four construct of loops. No, so you can apply it using while, do while, or for loop. So we have sentinel controlled loop, counter controlled loop, and flag controlled loop. So if you guys want to learn them, okay, more of them, it's actually uploaded in my YouTube channel. So those are just techniques or strategies in different types of loops. Okay, so this time I we are not going to leave loop. So dili na tubian ang loop once we never discuss the other construct of loop, which is end of file loop. So in end of file loop, we have to have an idea of file handling. So though wala pa ako nag-discuss sa inyo about file handling, but this is just for the purpose of demonstrating the end of file loop. Okay, so what's end of file loop? So it has to, whenever we read a data, it is coming from a file. No, it should be from our from our file system. So when we talk about file handling management, we get to store data and we are able to fetch data. So these data are stored permanently. So unlike the usual programming we do before, we every time we input data to our program and then as it exits, kung mag-exit na, mawala na tong mga data, no, ma-erase na to siya. But in this file handling, so basic file handling management only, we're able to store data to our text file or to our file, and then we are going to read or fetch it using that file. So to do that, we'll just need to declare include fstream. Okay, so fstream stands for file stream. Okay, so yan, fstream stands for file stream. And then there is this what we call out off stream. So when we talk about off stream, this would allow us to store data to our file. So let's say for an instance, we are going to have a um, my file, okay? And then we want to name our file as, let's say, person person.txt. Okay, so something like this one. Now we want to store person.txt data of a person into our file, into a text file. So to do that, we'll need to create an object of offstream. Offstream stands for output file stream. Okay, so when we talk about output file stream, we again use to store data to that person.txt. So let's say for an instance, we have here, so my file, okay, okay. So my file that open, you can actually call some of the methods or functions inside of it. So if you want to know more of them, again, every time you after the dot operator, it will just show you. It will just show or show off some of the functions. I mean, most all of the functions belong to that file streaming. But what we are going to do now is we only simply store data based on what we enter. So let's say for an instance, we want to store or maintain data such as like string, name, gender, and then let's say we want to store another age, no, for our person. Okay. So to do that, let's say we ask for the user to enter value. So let's say we have here uh, out, enter name, gender, and age. Okay? So, let's say in ana ato ang sana. And we are going to take the input from the user. So, we have gender, and then we have age. So example lang ato ang mga names kay one ano lang, one value and then gender one value, or so meaning to say one word lang per value, no? So for name, for gender, and for age. But again, if you would like to store or get data from the user, which is for name, gusto mo 2 words, 3 words, you will have to use GetLine. Okay? So now what we are going to do with this one is this one is going to store data to a file name person.txt. Okay, so let's say name, and then we have here a space, gender, and then you have here another space like age. So \n. So every time mag-store tag data for let's say another data for name, gender, and age, it will move to the next line. So it will create a person that text for us, and then we are able to store name, gender, and age to our text file. Okay, so don't forget to close. So not necessary, pero what it would be better if you close. So as by the way, this time is like you're opening instead of mag-ana pa ka my file that open. So it means you're opening the file. So let's say person that text. So meaning the file that you're going to create is person that text. So pwede na nimo ni siya i-erase diri. Something like that. Okay? So open and file. So again, ibalik na ko to. So you can have this one, or you can actually call the open that open file, no? So open function of on how to create a file. So again, the program is going to create person.txt, and then whenever we enter values for name, gender, and age, it will be stored to this one. So, but this is not our intention today. Our intention is to read the file from our text file so that you only have idea. Anyway, we'll get back to this one in the succeeding weeks. Okay, so let's run this program now. And okay, so let's just wait for a while. So enter name, gender, and age. Let's say yung mga pangalan dire. Karen. Okay, si Karen, female, and let's say 16. So example, Karen, female, and 16. So our program already or has already ended. So let's go back to where we actually create our file, or where we actually create our cpp.jp. Then refresh, click on refresh. I don't know if you have there in your what did you use gani? Unsa gani nga IDE inyong gigamit?
Devs.
Oh, DevC. Oh, DevC. Try nyo check sa DevC basin naa siya automatic even though dili mo mag-refresh. But if in case di mo gawas like dara, okay, person.txt nag refresh siya ni appear siya. Person
Asa dapit, sir?
sa Jensen third floor. So right click lang, right click and then refresh. Naa wala. So dara, Karen female 16. So I was able to store Karen female 16. Sige. Nakita ninyo, naka-create mong text file, wala. Hello.
Wala, sir.
Ano man? Wala mo nag-follow or wala mo naghimo. Isa nag-open og DevC.
Ako, sir, nag-on ko.
So wala nag-open og DevC.
Pinapalo
Ako,
pala ko,
sir.
sir.
Sige daw. Did you guys write this one?
Ako, sir.
Sige daw. Ano ninyo? Try na to para kung mugana sa DevC. Okay, go ahead. So let's see if in DevC, actually, there's nothing wrong with what IDE we are going to use. Only that if what I'm trying to elaborate here is that whenever we run our program, I don't know if it will appear there automatically in your in the folder that you have created or in the project that you have created, or Basin will need to go there kung asa inallocate ang file. So kung asa to dapit imuhang file dito na to tan-awon. Wala no, dili siya mogawas. Or naa sa baba. Naa wala. Is share screen daw. Can you guys share screen your someone kung kisay pwede mag-share screen para atong i-fix or unsa man para everyone could also
Well,
follow. Are you willing to share your screen? Who wants to? Sige ka to. Kinsa may gusto mag-share og screen? Wilver, Porquillo, are you
Hindi
willing?
akong gamit, sir. Di laptop.
Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing? Hey! Mawan may mga kaon siguro.
Lutang pa,
Wala,
sir.
Naulaw, sir, kay na...
Utang. Kisay gusto gani willing na try na to because I'm not using DevC. Unya na sa visual tan-aw na to sa DevC sa DevC. Kay majority sa inyo nagamit og DevC.
Maybe, ako siguro, sir.
Sige daw. Porquillo. Hinay ang net si Sarabia na lang. Sarabia, can you do it?
Kung wala'y mag-volunteer, sir, okay na sa ako.
Sige, ikaw na lang. Kay wala may mag-volunteer. Ang dili mag-volunteer, dili maadto sa langit.
Sure na na.
Sure na na. Ni text na ko ni Spakyaw. Dalon kaniyag langit. Ug ang tag-iya sa Earth. Sige. Manuel Ryan Sarabia. Where is your screen?
Nag-present na, sir.
I-present.
Nag-present na ko, sir. Wala nakita.
Wala.
Avatar lang, avatar.
Lahi ang nakita. Share screen tapos button sa sunod. Apply ay isa ni all something ito. Your entire screen, a window or tab. Entire screen na lang. Avatar lang jud nimo. Unsay magipili?
Ang Windows, sir.
Windows. Ayaw window, entire screen na lang daw, entire screen.
Okay po.
Akong tingog nawala. Nawala akong golden voice.
Wala mo, sir.
Okay, wala daw. Sige, go ahead, Manuel.
Dili ko ka-share sa entire screen, sir.
Kay? Ano kaha?
Diyan, sir.
Sige, let's look for some, ayan.
Ayun, meron.
Wala man ka nag-type po sa akong gipang type. Mo nang wa po ni. Sige, i-send na ko ning kuan ha. Code. And then i-type. I-copy paste na para di na ta madugay. Sige. Go ahead. Sige daw, run daw. Naka-save sa di ay. Sige, enter. Enter name, age. Jingle bell. Mo naman to jingle na kanta. Sige, usab. Run. Enter name, space, Manuel, male, 19, enter. Sige. And then, walay refresh, no? Sige daw. Add to daw sa, refresh daw, refresh. Wala.
Wala refresh, sir.
Okay, add to daw sa project. Okay, di na mao. Add to sa execute. Okay, kita ka ng clean. Kita ka clean, wala. Na-clean, wala.
Naa, sir.
Dili na mao. Add to ta sa add to sa asa ni na save imong file?
Sa ako ang folder, sir.
Dito na to tan-awon kay murag di na siya wala. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, pangitaa dira ang dulita po sa kong naong. Pangitaa dira ang gi-clean daw niya.
Wala,
Pangitaa
sir.
dira ang person. O, tara, person, o. Tara, person. Nara, person.text. Yan. There.
I-open,
Nado sa
sir.
save. Nado sa save file. Sige. I-open na lang daw na. I-open. Ayan. I-open po na. So, ayan. Ito si Manuel, male, 19. So, mas-save na siya every now and then. I-run mo ang program diha sa file permanently. No? Kung ma-delete na siya, kung imo na siyang i-delete. So, permanent na siya diha ma-store. Di na siya mawala.
So nice.
Okay, tanawon daw nato siya sa nado sa save file. Okay, go to asam ng file. File.
Ito, sir.
Amaw na to? Mao na daw to. Kato na
Save
daw.
na, sir. Dito man ako na-save akong file.
Mauna to kayo no save file. Ito na ay option sa save file. All right, sige, thank you. So, we'll get back to that later. Apo, no? Ato nang balikan ang text file. But for now, that is not our intention today. I'm just
Yes, ay,
unsa man.
Ay, sorry,
Yes.
sorry, nakaon eh. Sorry, sir.
Di mo kung gisubay-subay.
Wala, sir. Sorry, sir. Wala, sir. Kami, sir. Wala.
Di mo kung gisubay-subay, pantay lang ka. Di ka matug langit. Okay, sige. So, again, we get to store data to a text file. So, dagana siya og attributes dira. You can have like iOS, input-output stream, trunket, input, out, and so many different things na pwede nimo magamit dira. Okay? So, you just have to explore it. Now, ang iano diri is whenever we create or we run another program, so let's say I'm going to run another program and then I'm going to enter another name, so let's say Manuel France and then 12. So when I get back to person.text, Manuel is now replacing the previous value. So na-replace niya ang previous value, therefore nawala na tong last value. So the only way for us to retain the value that previous value that we have just entered, then musumpay si Manuel is you just have to put it here true. Okay? So that is why when I run the program again, and then I'm going to store another name, let's say Wendell. Okay, Wendell male, let's say 19. Ayan. So when we go to person.text, Wendell is now stored as another file. So every time mag-store kag file, it will be stored here. Okay? So ayan. So I just hope na you're able to follow it. Again, that is just storing of data. But again, that is not our intention today. Our intention is we are going to fetch that data from person.text so that we're able to demonstrate end of file loop. So what is end of file loop? When we talk about end of file loop, let's say for an instance, we are going to have, let's comment this one out. Okay? So i-comment nato ni, and then I'm going to read that file there sa person.txt. So let's say I have here Mart. Okay, I have another, let's say Chris, Criza. Okay, and then you have your female, and then 18, and a lot more, no? Kung gusto pa ka magdungag ng mga values nila. So let's say Jane, female, example lang, mao na ang mga na-store na data sa tuang value or sa tuang file. Okay, so example, mao ni ang mga file or data na na-store sa tuang file. Okay? So when we want to read it, we are going to declare a value of fstream. So fstream naman is input file stream. Okay? So the library for that is fstream. So upstream for storing, okay, for storing data to your file. Fstream if you want to read file to from your text file. Okay? Let's say read atong ibutang dire. Okay, so pwede mo read that open or simply read kung sa itong text file na imong basahon. Let's say person.text. Okay, so person.text. So if we are going to read the file, okay, so first thing you will do is we will need to have a for you to read that one. Let's say we have a value, we have a variable for getting the value of it. Data na lang. Sige, string data. And then read, okay, data. So meaning the data, the file there, the information there like manual and all of this will be read and will be stored into data. And then for us to display, okay, so this one is what we call fetching, no? Fetching or retrieval or retrieving, okay? Retrieval of data from a file. So, with flow na noon file. And it's stored niya sa data. So, whatever unsay mabasa sa data, iyan ang i-store sa, mabasa niya sa text file, store na niya sa data. And then, see out data. Okay? So, example, i-run na to na siya. And then, okay. So, let's just wait for a while. So, happen. Person.txt na noon. So, rerun again. So, dapat parehang spelling. So, mali ang spelling na ito kanina maotong wala niya nabasa. So, yan, Manuel. No? Manuel. So, by the way, if you want to again read the next data to it, okay? So, the next data will be stored again to data. Example, maghiwa lang tag data 1, data 2, okay? So, data 1, this is data 1, and then data 2, and then see out data 2. Okay? So, if you want to read data 1, okay, so kung napansin niyo it's a comma separated, not comma separated, but it's what we call space separated value or SSP. Space separated value would mean that we read the data, okay, every after or a day, every single record here is separated via space. So meaning when you call read data 1, the first that the value that is being read is manual, not manual trans 12, because again per record is read per in via space, meaning ma-separate sila via space. That's what we call via separated value or space separated value. So if syempre if you want na ma-separate siya ang data 1 and ang data 2, kasi see out man ang magdalaan na kung saan nimo display sa values. So you'll just have to do that one. Okay? Now, I know you're confused why I did that. Okay? Again, I was just reading. Okay, that's in the event you're going to read file, it will be read as, okay, this one is one record, and another record. Of course, you will be asking me, sir, pwede ba entire line ako ang i-read? Like instead of tagi-tagi akong pagbasa, I want Manuel Trans 12 as read as one line. Of course, we can do that. And how do we do that? So all we just need to do is, okay, I'm going to comment this one, okay, para dili mawala. So all I need to do is read, okay, I'll be using GetLine, sorry. So GetLine, which is, we discussed this one before. So read that the data one, okay, or data one. So this time, when you take the data one to your program, it will read or it will display the record of Manuel. So Manuel, Trans, and 12. So there you are. Now, okay, I know your question will not stop from there. Of course, you will be asking me a question about, sir, I want to read all those records. Okay, would that mean that I'm going to uh, to 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 define or declare another variable data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, data 5, and so on and so forth. So that is why I'm discussing what we call end of file loop. Because in the end of file loop, we'll need to read, okay, read the data until the end of the world. Joke lang. Until the end, until the end of the file. So when how do we how will the compiler or how will our program know na end of the file na if there's no record or information that is going to be read. So how would it know if wala na, blank na siya? So mo nang end of file loop. So that's the essence of end of file loop. So we don't do this say tawag ato nato ani na code kung sa Bisaya pa kanina programming is what sinanggo na program or sa tawag na program kanang tinamban, no? So we don't do this kasi we have now an idea of loop. Why not? Okay, why not use loop to read all the records there? So how do we do that, sir? So to actually do that, you only just need, okay, pwede nimo ang kailangan nimo isa na lang ka variable and then you just have to use loop. So to do that, you will use either any of the looping snapshot while for loop or do while, but I'm gonna be using while. So while read that EOF, okay. So there's EOF there. It's Boolean. Ang gina-return ani true or false. Okay, true if there is still uh, records or data, no? Okay, false if, of course, if no more. Okay, if there is no more. If there is no more feelings, there is no more data. Okay, so then we'll have to negate it because end of file is it end of file while not end of file. So we'll need to use not operator to negate the file kasi while read that end of file is it is false, it becomes true. So i-negate man niya, di ba, basta magamit tag not operator. So that's it, no? While not read end of file. So this time we can now use, kung gusto ka, get line, then use read tapos data, and then output data, see out, then data. Okay. And then you can have here see out name \t gender, and age. Okay, and then putang tantrik \n. Okay, so when you run the program, this would list all the information that are stored there in your program. So from your person.text. Okay, so that's it. Now, sir, wala lang na siya na-arrange. Gusto na ako arrange ang records. Arrange akong value. Okay, so you can use the katong isa na idea, which is do you follow? Unsa man? Okay, so something like this. Pero if i-run na to ni siya, ano na siya, sumpay-sumpay na ang iyahang ang records. So pwede nimo siya i-ano na if or para mag-move ni siya ang next value, let's say Wendell, pwede na ang imuhang reading would be maggamit ka og loop or pwede mag-condition ka na naa kay counter. So ang pinakadali siguro dire is, let's say you have like this. Pwede loops, unsa inyong gusto, loops. Pwede pod counter. So nakay counter na 0 or 1 ba? And then okay, so mag-condition ka dire. Sorry. If it's just a matter of your preference, either you use another loop inside of this or ano mo na if CTR is equal to 3, okay, cout \n, then else read. Okay, para ang mahitabuan na is every time, kay 3 lang man ni siya ang column, so 1, 2, 3. So every time mag 3 siya, na ang mag next line atong cout. So dapat naatay counter diri na CTR++. So 1, tapos read, tapos next 2, tapos 3. Okay, 3 pa. Sige, ito na ito. Or something like masintan na to. Kulang og. Right. So you can also use loop for this one. So I'm going to show you later on. Wait, nag-true siya always. So CTR is equal to 3. Sige, try na to. Gawa si C++. Okay, nag-infinite loop siya. Check. Okay. Mag-infinite loop gihapon ni siya, pero ato siyang wait for a while ha. CTR equals 0. I-reset na to ang CTR by 1 di ay, sorry. 1. So, anticipate na ako yung possible na output. Okay. So pwede, if condition, pwede pod nato siya loop. What happened here? 12. Ano man eh. Fine. Ay, GetLine day dapat ano. So wait lang, GetLine. Asa mang GetLine dala. Ay, no need of GetLine. Read that data first. So sa to output na to, \t. Okay, so mas pangit gyapon. So mas okay loop na lang. Ayaw na lang ni erase this one, forget this one, i-loop na lang na to. So we have 4 int CTR or ano tayo, CTR equals 1. CTR is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so we can actually remove this one. So let's try another one kung i-loop na to. And then There. Okay, so and then after that, after mag-stop, mag-out siya ana na loop, magbutang taog end line. Okay, so sige lang, don't you worry, tanaw na to kung unsay, I mean, let's say unsa iyang output. So that's the output that I want to do in my program na gusto nako ma-linya si name. All of the gender will also be lined in the column for gender column and for the for also for the age. Okay? So question. Okay? Okay, so that's what we call end of file loop. So this one is morning end of file loop. Okay, so yan, na-discuss na akong counter controlled, sentinel controlled, flag controlled, and end of file loop. End of file controlled loop. So asa natong na-discuss ang tulo, na-discuss na ako, gi-upload na ako sa YouTube. Kanilang akong gitagaan og emphasis because kani ang medyo lisod-lisod na part na kailangan jud siya og actual demonstration. Okay, do you have questions? Do you guys have questions?
Sir, naa, sir.
Unsa man?
Kanagong kuan, sir, kanang slash nga murag pa-right good. Giunsan mo, sir?
Asa slash na pa right? Asa dapit? Kani? Asa dapit na part? Line, unsa na line? Line, unsa na line? Can you tell me line? Line 12, line 14, line 21, line... Unsa na line?
Line 17, sir.
17,
Line
sir.
17. Kani?
Kanang gender of
Agree.
age.
Ngano man?
Kanang slash good niya, sir. Unsaon na siya magkuan, sir? Kay ako, sir, ni subay ko sa imong gikuan, sir. Then di siya muran, sir, kay mali ang slash. Minana, gusto.
Backslash T?
Sa keyboard.
Backslash T. Di ba? Na-discuss na nato ni sa una, atong sa mga previous pa, dugay na kayo. Backslash T. Asa na dapit dito na sa
Okay.
Dapat sa enter.
Dapat enter.
Sir, wala
Dapat-
good ko, sir, kay kuan. Nagmurang team biyak, sir.
unsa na imo ha?
Ay, sige, sige. Salamat.
Oh,
Sige
mag-shift
lang.
daw ka. Binaw mag-shift siya. Nakaloko man ni si ano. Kuya ka mag-shift daw ka
Salamat,
ana siya kung
sir.
di daw ka balog backslash T mag-shift daw ka. Sige, dili man ako sila man. Sila may nag-ingon na i-shift daw. Ayos ako pasalamat sa ilaha. Yeah, shift backslash T. Until karon wala pa nimo na naanuhan. So ila-ilaha na siya. Nasa sa tapad sa enter. Sa taas na siya sa enter.
Yes, sir.
Taas sa enter tapos shift kanang pipe. Kauban na ng pipe.
Yes, sir, kakita na ko, sir.
Nakita na nimo. Okay, good, very good. Sige. Yes, any other questions?
Sir, saan tong kuan, sir? Katugay mag-percent, sir. Percent jud to siya, sir.
What do you mean? Percent
Calculus.
na ano yung modulus? Na?
Sir.
Division na siya pero ang kwaon niya
Wala,
remainder. Tapos, kung sa imong question na like kung mayon kog
Unsay i-split ana, sir?
shift pod,
Kaning kuan, sir, kaning percent.
shift
Number.
5. Oo,
Shift
shift 5.
Ay. Lahi magud siya now, sir, pag sa dev, sir.
Lahi siya naong? Unsa iyang naong murag si kuan?
Oh, kanang percent jud siya, sir, ang sakuan. Ang imuha, sir, kay kung tutukan mo kay murag 9 ug 6.
Murag 9 ug 6. Ay 9/6. Kani?
Oh.
Mura siya tao nga nagbike, no?
Oh, sir. Alright.
Murag tao nga nagbike.
Salamat,
Sige,
sir.
shift. Sige. Okay. Basin depende sa inyong gigamit na font. Ang font ako default man kuning nga font diri. Yes na yung mga questions diri. shout out to, okay. Yes, Raven Lisondra, what is your question?
Unsay nang meaning atong CTR, sir?
Secret, imo palang day. CTR. Ang CTR is just a variable. A counter. Murag, wala lang. Pwede na siya anything. Pwede na siya
Okay.
instead. Pwede na I,
Okay.
pwede A, X, B. Wala na siya. It doesn't have any meaningful meaning. Pwede na siya anything, any variable. Wala siya pwede na siya A dira, pwede B. Basta, it's just for me na I use meaningful names in my programs.
Yes, sir. Kining
Okay.
sir? Kining
Sama.
exclamation point tas read.eof unsa man na?
Okay, kaning read.eof is morning end of file loop. It means na end of file. Read daw niya. Pag read niya, is it end of the file? No. Is it end of the file? No. Is it end of the file? No. Is it end of the file? So mag true na siya. Tapos pag abot niya diri, is it the end of the file? Mo maning file, di ba? Is it the end of the file? Moingon din na siya diri og false. So which is mo nang i-read niya ning Manuel until Kyle. Kasi pag read niya diri true. Kani si end of file, true to siya for all from line nga line until diri nga line going here, and kay nag-loop man niya, i-read niya ni per line until it arrives here at line kani siya nga line 7, moingon na rin na siya og false. So mag-false na siya. So not means remember katong not is a logical operator na pag mayon ka og not true, it is false. Ang value is false. So nganong inat man nato na siya, sir, kasi meaning the loop will stop if it is end of the file. Okay? Or in ano na lang, the loop will not stop if dili siya end of the file. Okay? So meaning it keeps on repeating the statement or the process until mabasa niya ang wala na siya ilaing records basahon. Okay? So loop yan. End of file loop. Okay? So
Okay, sir.
okay, sige. Unsa pa man? There are a lot of ways you can do this, but this is mao ni ang I guess ang pinakaano na ma-recommend nako in reading end of file loop. So, okay? Do you guys have any questions in text file? Wala na.
Ay, sir.
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 Yes,
Sir.
sige.
Kanang kuan, sir. Kanang pang times good na sign, sir. Hello. Kanang pang times na sign, sir. Parang line 28, sir.
Oo.
Masay, sir, meaning ka, sir.
Kani? Comment.
Yes, sir.
Wala din ako na discuss.
Sorry, sir. Na-discuss, sir, pero nalibog ng gamay, sir.
Kani, comment na isa lang ka line. Per line. Kani, multiple line. Kasi kung kwaon ako na siya, meaning, I might be using one line. So, isa lang iyang ma-read per line, per parang inani lang iyang reading, ana. So, that is why magbutang ko og inani because I would like to comment all of this, no, as multiple lines of statements of codes will be commented or will be take out from reading, no, or parang i-omit sa ato ang compiler ang pag-read ani basta ma-recognize na niyang kani. So meaning dili ni appeal og read. So kanang kani siya, it's only intended for single line comment. Yan, para niyo single line. Isa ra man ka line akong i-comment, so I will be using I use this one. If gusto na ko i-comment ning for loop until this one see out, mo na dili ko pwede magamit ani. Like for an instance, kanila akong i-comment. Okay, kana, you will use that one. Pero if I'm going to comment, okay, from 4 up to diri sa kuot, so kailangan ako siya og kailangan ako siya gamiton ang /* asterisk, that because that will indicate na it is a multiple line comment.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. What can I do to make you love them? Okay, napa? Okay, don't shy yourself. Mga kamananap, you ask questions. Napay questions? Wala na.
Ay, sir.
Yes, you are excused.
Kanang kanang sa line number 17 ito sir kay nga gani nay ano nay 5 nya sani
Kani?
ano gani ni nga
Gisample lang na ganina, wa na ilabot.
yes sir, thank
Okay.
you.
Kuan na to siya ganina kay
Line, sir.
unsay pasabot sa
GetLine.
GetLine. Get out ana. Okay? So pasabot sa GetLine, i-read niya the entire line. So bisan pag gikan ka sa let's say imong line, imong kuano kani, okay? So let's say na kay mga lines blah 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 kana. So i-read niya the entire line. Nakuha? So the entire line from left to right.
Okay,
Manual
sir.
trans 12 blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's for GetLine. So it is used for getting values from our user. Magamit nato na siya kung let's say mag-input ta og name. Let's say sa cout, diri no sa cin. Gusto nimo siya i-input ang name, Gusto nimo ang name is let's say naman jud tay duha mga pangalan na tagduha, let's say Mary Ann. Okay? So gamiton nimo ang GetLine. Okay? So para kwaon niya ang duha ka name ni Mary ug Ann as one name, Mary Ann. So kung that's why imo na nang iano si gender ug si and then separate nimo si gender ug si in age. Okay? Ay, wa man tay input. Asa man tong asa man to ganina? Okay, diri na dapit na part sa diri, okay? Instead imong gamiton kani, okay, kani imong gamiton. Okay? So let us ano this one ha. Okay, wait for a while. I-uncomment nato ni siya. So earlier, mo ni atong himo ganina. We have here kani enter name, gender, age. So name, gender, age meaning one per line ano lang siya ang kwaon of value is per one word only. Kumbaga one word per value of name, gender, and age. So meaning isa lang ang i-capture niya na name, na value for your name. Okay? If mag-GetLine ka, gusto nimo na ang gusto nimo i-capture si Mary Ann Anastasia o kana iyang kana iyang pangalan Mary Ann Anastasia. So kwaon niya na i-capture niyang Mary Ann Anastasia as one entire line. That's for GetLine. So the same thing with how we actually do it here kanio. Okay, pero gi-comment nato because gi-format nato ato ang value kaning person kani diri gi-format nato na ang iyang display will be mag-plus* siya in a way na magtungod ang tanan pangalan, magtungod ang tanan gender, o magtungod ang tanan age kay ang sa text file wala man siya nagtungod. So diri nato siya itungod which is mao ning gihimo nato ning loop. Sige. Okay, so don't you worry, we are going to discuss this one more no in our succeeding weeks. Okay? Sige, I'm going to share this one to you. Nang nako dira. Okay, send nako dira. Okay? Any questions so far? Do you have any questions? Hello. Saman, may questions? Wala na.
sir.
Wala na. Very good. So now, let's discuss new topic. So biyaan na nato si loop. Okay, I will just upload different mga ano pa no, techniques or strategies in loops. Okay? Sige. Okay, so this time we are going to discuss array. Okay, array. Hinahinayon nato para you are able to, understand array because array is, this one is isa siya sa importante kayo na mga na topics, no? This is one of the most important topics in every programming. Okay? So, what do you mean by array? So, array is a data structure, okay? Data structure that allows us to store and manage data, okay, in a single type via a contiguous part of memory. Mali akong ayan. So, unsa man ang contiguous, sir? Contiguous means tapad, no? Katapad beside ka sunod niya, ano ba? Sunod value, okay? So, I'm going to give to you an idea of what if wala tay array. Okay, let's say wala tay array na we don't have the idea of like array first. So, first is array. Let's say wa pa kay idea pud sa loop. Okay, ang imong buhaton jud ana is, di ba? First kay syempre num1, tama, num2, num3, okay, num4, num5, num6, num7, num8, num9, num10. Okay, na murag na ay how you are supposed to do it, no? Kung pangutan-on ka in layman's term, kung pangutan-on ka o input sa user. So probably in ani imong buhaton num1, num2, num3, num4, num5, num6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So siyempre imong buhaton na cout enter value 1. Okay? And then in num1. Okay? Then cout enter, so something like imo ning i-copy paste and then value 2 na pud ka. Okay? And then value 2. Okay? And you have here value 3 and then value 4. So kapoy, no? Manageable siya but it's a little bit tiring. It's a little bit parang annoying for us, no? I mean, it's a little bit annoying to every programmer typing the same, almost the same step. We just changed a little bit of parang a little alteration lang, like ano lang na to ang number by 1, 2, 3. Wala kay how do I say this? It's up to 100? What if it's up to 1,000? What if more than 1,000? Of course, okay, it will really take a lot of time. It will really cost you a lot of effort and time. So imagine maghimo kag variables from num1 to num1000. 1,000 and then num1 C 1,000 pod or more than 1,000 pod ka C out and C in. Okay? So this is the idea, no? Kung wala kay idea about array. Okay? Now, what about love? Okay. What about kung walay array sir pero i-loop na ko na siya? Yes, of course, you can do this with like loop. So, syempre, ang atong i-achieve, di ba, kay kwaon na to ang total niya or ang sum. Mo lang man niyang gusto. I would like to get the sum of the numbers entered by the user. So, imong buhaton na sum equals num1, num2, num3, so on and so forth until maabot kag num 1,000. Of course, na-solve nimo ang problem. But, okay, it doesn't mean you solve the problem. It is okay. Like referring to an innovation, no? So as a programmer, we don't just create the right program. We create the right program in a right way of doing it. Okay? So we don't just provide program na, okay, it's working. Okay, tama siya. It addresses the problem. Okay? We have to analyze if okay ba ni siya. Tapos if you can see it, 10 pa lang na, how much more if this is like 1,000 of numbers ang imong i-input. So, this one, it can be solved by not using array. We can actually solve this using just using a loop only. Okay, pwede natin i-solve using loop. Kasi as ninyo, enter value 1, value 2. So, ang pattern niya is mag-enter siya number, no? So, value 1, tapos C in. So, it's like nanay pattern na sige lang siya pangayog number and then store siya sa value or sa variable. And then, every time mag-input ka, i-sum lang niya. So, actually, it will be easier if i-solve nato na siya via loop. Okay? So, all we just need to do is, first, let's say, you have here the num, and then, okay, mag-declare ng tag I, let's say 1. Okay, and then, yung tag while loop, sulod nato ning enter value 1, something. Okay, and then, instead of, para value 1, mo count siya. Okay, value 1 or enter value I. Okay, and then something in ana. Okay. And then right here, buta nato num. Okay, and then sum plus equals to num. Okay, so ang ato na lang idungag dire is how would we know or how would when will the program stop or the loop stop? So it will stop if ang So, of course, kailangan natong increment value I++. So, this time, erase na nato ni kasi gibutang na nato siya sa loop. Okay, so whenever the program is going to run using loop, it will repeat this process right here. So, C out, enter value 1. So, una niya 1, then next 2 na po, then next is 3, then 4, then 5, which is every time you store value to your, what they call this one, every time you store value to your, or every time you ask the value and it will be stored to num, it will be added or sum up to num, sum, okay? And then you can have here C out, like the sum or the result of the numbers entered. So at least we are able to, we're able to actually solve or provide the, parang based on the previous program that we had, medyo this one is a little bit okay, a little bit efficient, and it's, again, sa programming, if you can lessen your codes, it would be better. Kumbaga, the lesser the code, the better. Kung ganina ang solution na to would be, if let's say 10 lang to kabuok, okay, 10 ka lines with the 10 variables. Okay? So, pero what if 1,000 or 100 or 1,000? So, 100 ka variables, 100 pud ka inputs and outputs. Okay? 1,000 ka variables, 1,000 pud ka inputs and outputs. So, that's the problem with the program we had earlier. Now, how about this one? Kani siya, all we just need to do is change the value here. Kung gusto kag 100 ka numbers ang i-input, 100 po na iyahang ka-loops ni buhaton. Okay? We just change the value here. And it's actually addressing, it's actually a solution to the problem that we had, it's the same thing we had sa atong program ganina, pareha sila pero lahi lang siya nagpagka-solve. Ang katong isa, manual, tinamban kani with loops. Okay? And it serves its purpose. Okay, ang iyang idea lang mag-solve niya every time mag-enter tag value. So let's run this program. Of course, when we get to run this program, it will just keep on asking values to our user. So let's say 12, no? 4, 45, 100, 56, okay, and so on and so forth. And then the values or the sum of this the sum of these numbers is 319. Okay? So if you wish na 100 siya, then you just have to change this to 100. Of course, the program will, okay, ask you 100 times of numbers and it will be added to sum. Okay? So sir, okay dahil siya even without array. Okay dahil siya kahit dili ko mag-array, loops lang. Yes, there's no problem with that. However, what if, okay, so every sa program dapat i-analyze nato, dapat what if. What if, okay, you will be asked about retrieve all those numbers, and not just retrieve, but when we talk about retrieve, it's the records or the values that have been entered previously can be retrieved, meaning pwede nimo siya mabalik og tawag. Okay? So how would you possibly do that? How can you possibly do that with the current program that we have? You can't. Okay? You can if ever imuha siyang pangitaan og paagi. Pero it's really near to impossible. Why? Kasi like for an instance, I want to sum only numbers on the 5th iteration, or katong value na gi-enter nako sa 5th, katong ika 55 o ika 100. So what if na inana katong isam nako katulang ika 5th number or ika 5th value, ika 55 or ika 100. So butang tag if condition rin na if ang I is equal to 5, isam niya. If ang I is equal to 55, isam na po niya. If ang I is equal to 100, isam na po niya. But what if ang input is coming from the user na what numbers you are going to add? Like gusto na ko katong numbers na ika 6. So dili siya constant na 5, 55 and 100. Gusto niya katong 40, katong ika 35. So you're giving the user na the option to choose unsa iyang i-add na mga numbers. And with that situation, it's a no. I mean, you cannot do that. It's impossible to provide that solution given the current program that we have right now. So it is going to be needing an array. It needs an array. So how is that, sir? How can we convert this into an array programming? Okay? So because of that problem, kaya na solve sa loop pero na ay constraint, na ay situation or scenario na dili ma-solve ni loops, na kaya i-solve ni array. Okay? Because array used to store data, okay, as many as data as we can based on its defined or fixed, based on its defined number or size. So example, if you're going to assign your array into num, let's say 10, okay, and then you are going to you're going to store the value through that, Okay? So pag nanagani kayo mga nana siya na symbol like this one, pasabot na array na. So enter value 1, it will be stored to array num I. Okay? And then something like that. Now, sir, wala may siya na change. Imo lang man siya gibutangan og bracket. Okay, imo lang man siya gibutang bracket. Tapos with the something like this one, and ana murag wa may nausab sa program. Yes, it seems like walay nausab sa program. Physically, gamay lang ang na-change sa program, but okay, this could be a powerful program. Why? Okay, example, I want to retrieve the record or the value. Okay, let's say the value at index. Okay, so you don't have the idea of index. So ang index, by the way, kanang mo nang 0 to 0 to kani-kanina diri 0 to 9. So later on ako nang i-ano sa inyo i-discuss. Don't you worry. So let's say for an instance, the dili lang index, the value at the fifth value of, okay, ano na lang, the fifth value entered is, okay, num, kung anong 4, sir, okay, anuhan na ninyo kasi mag-start with 0. Don't you worry. Anong 4 na siya because nga niya 5th, sir. So 0 to 0 man gud mag-start siya ang ato ang index. So again, kung na-confuse mo, it's okay. Ayaw lang sa ano, basta mag-start siya with 0. So meaning kung 0 siya, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ang ika-5th is 4, index 4. Okay? So again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ang ika-index 4 is po ng ika-5th value. So, katong imong giingon sir na mag-enter ko og or i-add na ko ang ika-5th, ika-55th o ika-100. Pwede ba na sir? Oo, pwede, no? So, by the way, given with sa atong program karon kay 100 ang loop niya, 10 lang ni siya, dapat ibutang nato ni siya into 100 pod, okay, or 101 kasi 100 equal to 100 man eh. Kay nga naman 0, pag mayong tag 0 to 100, 0 to 99 lang na. Pag mayong tag 0 to 101, that's 0 to 100. O sige, ay lang sa ano yung na-mind. Basta inaanak lang sa, okay? So, let's say, i-sum na ko ang values ni, okay, values sa katong giingon na nina na num, ika-4th, okay, plus, okay, num, ika-55, okay, or ika-54th, or ika-55, sige, ana lang, gusto ni mo nga, ano dyan. So, ika-num, ika-100. Okay? So, yan. You can, this is what we call retrieval. You are able to retrieve the values previously. In fact, okay, mao na ni ang idea of why array is created. Why array as a construct, as a data structure is created in every programming because it is used to, it allows us to retrieve data that has been entered previously. Okay, so let's run the program now. Pero, di lang nato iabot og 100 kay medyo daghan kayo. Na lang siya, kutob lang siya sa 10. Okay? So, ako alam po ning ibaba gamay. So, let's say this is 5. Kay taas kayo na siyang labangunon atong program. So, imagine 100 times mag-loop. Okay? So, enter value. Enter value 1, 23, 45, yan. 100, 15, 90, 67, 50, okay, 23, 49, and then yan. So, kani siya ang morning sum, and then the fifth value entered is 100. So, tanaw na to ang fifth value, which is kani. Okay? So, fifth value, 1, 2, 3, the fifth value entered is 0, 1, 0, 1, wait. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, How come 100? Wait. Enter value 1. That's I. Kasi nag-start ka with I is 1. Sorry. So, dapat I is 0. Okay. So, wala na to na-change ang I ganina sa from loop pa na program. Yan. So, enter. Kaya sa karon alam sa ninyo na i-mind ha ang 0 or something. Basta kay mag-start, ang array mag-start siya with 0. So the fifth value entered is 100. So 0, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ang ika-fifth nag-enter is 100. So that's it. That's the idea of array. So now, let's start with the basic sa array. Okay? So, di pa dito basic, sir? I mean, kuan lang to siya. What they call this one? Activator lang to para you would differentiate na nako ang program without array, without loop, and program na without loop and array or something like that. Compare lang nako ba na nganong na ay array nga kaya ram da i-solve sa loop or nganong na ay nganong na ay nani nga kaya ram da i-solve sa array, something inana na mga ideas. So para mas masabtan ninyo, para mas ma-inculcate ninyo ang values ni array. Okay? So, when we talk about array is fixed. So, we have array is fixed. So, kung mayroon kong array is, let's say, num of 5, okay, akong array will be, ang length niya is 5. Okay? So, kung mayroon kong ang length niya is 5 or array num 5, ang index niya it will be from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, diha lang taman. Beyond that, kung mo exceed na ko sa index nako by like 5 na niya, 5 lang akong array, index 5, ang tawag ana sa iya is index out of bounds. Index out of bounds. Example. Okay, mayon ko og cout num1. Okay? So that is the second index. Okay? So of course, ang program na to wala siya i-display. Okay? By the way, tanan numbers sa array will be initialized to 0 by default kung di ta magputang or initialize. Okay? So let's say we have here another one here. Num4 or yes, num4. Okay, so tanan i-display niya diri sa atong value sa atong array is 0 number. Okay? So kani is gi-assign lang ni na mga values for our integer value. So max value ni na pwede na to ma-store sa randomly ihatag niya. Don't you worry. So I could explain that na anong 0 to siya and then kani num4 lahi na po siya nga value. It's because randomly it is given kung pila ang byte size sa ato ang integer value mao po tong i-assign niya sa every array na to. Okay? So, but what I'm going to elaborate on this is that array is fixed as a property that array is fixed kung magbutang tag array is like 5. Okay? And this will give us, okay, an error program na what happened. Ngayon siya mag-error. Index out of bounds. Num5. Wait. So, di siya mag-error pero i-loop na to. Int I equals to 0, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, and then in, let's say num I. Example lang. Let's try. So atong ibutang sa loop, kung mag-input tag numbers from 0 to 5 na index. Okay, so 12, 34, ikatulo na, ikaupat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ikalima, and then ikaunom. Okay, di ka mo siya mag-error. Okay, what happened? Nam, dapat index out of bounds na siya. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index 5. What happened? Change na si array. Nag-change na yung property. Pareha na siya sa Visual Basic. Pareha sa dati niya na array. I-try daw sa inyo ha guys kung mag-index out of bounds ba. Dili siya, index out of bounds. I-try daw sa inyo ha daw. Can you try in DevC? Hello? I-try daw
Wait
natin sa
lang.
DevC. I-try daw sa DevC daw kung mag-index out of bounds ba siya.
Maghapon, sir.
Dili gyapon? Dili siya sana? Dili siya mag-index out of bounds? Did you try? It must be mag-index out of bounds. I mean, I'm pretty much sure mag-index out of bounds na. And I would just like to give reasons nga nung dili siya mag-index out of bounds. Tanaw na to if basin sa IDE gamit or sa compiler nagigamit. If in case, no, I will stand corrected. If in case na ang array can store as much as data as we can, more than unsa na value. Okay, so ipakitry sa daw dira, please. Let's say 10. Wala siya error, wala po siya display. It would mean to say mas naa siya error pero walang gi-display ang error. Can you guys try it sa JCreator, sa DevC please? Can anyone share?
Sir, walay mag-display, sir.
Wala siya mag-display. Even in Anino, wala mag-display. Okay. So
Mag-run siya pero walay mag-display.
Okay, sige, wala mag-display. That would mean na, sige, try na to by, again, ang ano na is index out of bounds. If ever man wala ni display or wala gibutang na index out of bounds, it's okay. So, i-try na to na this will be from 5 only. Try na to if we're able to display the program. So, don't mind kung wala siya error. Okay, so walay display to ganina ha, given the same program that we have. Gi-change lang nato siya into 5. Okay, so 23, 56. Kasi dapat mag-error na siya. So see, yan, that's it. No? Meaning our program is correct. Earlier, kung napansin niyo walay error. I don't know what happened, but it has to, okay, sige. Let me explain na lang. I don't know if I'm right, but it's probably because C++ doesn't have the error catch handling. So meaning it does not throw an error, therefore dili siya mag-display og error kasi unlike I was expecting parehas sa Java. Okay. And then kasi sa Java if lapas ka sa index, i-throw na ni Java ang error and then ihatag sa imo ang error. i-catch ni Java. But with the sa C++, it is an error, and that's the problem there, no? Pag compile ni Java, and then as we keep on entering number, wala at ni C++, as we keep on entering number, wala wala siya nag-return og error. Okay? But ang program nato does not arrive the output that we expect to. Okay? So that's probably the reason why. Okay. Because C++ does not throw an error, no? Dili siya mag-throw an error, dili niya i-catch, therefore wala siya error na i-display. So only kung may error sa pag-compile, kadto lang ang i-recognize niya as an error. Okay? So now, going back. Okay? So ako lang gi-prove na kung num5 siya kay array is fixed, ang index ani is 0 to 4. Ang ika-fifth or beyond 5 na index will be out of bounds. Do you follow? Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, basta beyond ano na 5 index out of bounds. So now, if I'm going to put here 10. So pilay index ako ang array. Maghimo na lang lain. Int val 10. So pilay index akong array karon. Unsay indices sa akong array?
10, sir.
Unsa sila? Ang length sa akong array is pila?
10.
10. Very good. Ang indices niya?
0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
0 to?
0 to
9.
9, sir.
Okay, sige. So, 0 to 9. Para may balaan, actually, mas dali na formula na. Length, di ba? Length 10. Length minus 1 mo na ang last index sa imuhang array. Okay? Tapos, okay, kandi po yung bantayan ha. Array only uses integer index. So, unsa nang index? Index is an idea of array in storing, okay, storing a certain variable, certain value to a certain value to array. Okay, storing a certain value to array. So meaning, if you want to store the value to the first index, it should be array index 0. If second index, it should be array 1. Third index, kani 2. Then so on and so forth. Okay? And this should be an integer. Okay, dili siya pwede double, float na 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, so on and so forth. Okay? So, ayan. So, by declaring array of like int num5, int val10, you are able to create a memory of 10, 5 ka memory sa imong array or variable, and then which val na 10 pod ka book memory, which is kung mayon kog num5, ang kanang num5 nato sa taas is equivalent of saying na okay, kanang first sa kanang nasa line 15 pag mayon kog int num5 is actually equivalent of saying int num1, num2, num3, num4, and num5. But sir, nganong num1 man dili 0? Okay, pwede kaya po num0, num1, num2, num3, num4. But of course, we don't recognize as 0 as a like, di ba, kung mag-start tag counting sa 1 man jud. Okay? Mao lang na ang confusing na part sa array, no, sa C++ and sa Java kay pag mayon ang it's always starts with index 0. Na ay programming languages na dili mag-start siya sa 0. Okay? Like Visual Basic. Dili siya mag-start og 0, mag-start siya with 1. Okay? Mag-start siya 0 di ay. Mag-start niya pa siya 0. Pero ang iyahang ano is kung unsa to imong define rin na 5, like 5 index 5 pud siya taman. So 0 to 5 siya. But with C++, C, PHP, and even Python, and most of, if not all, no, programming languages, index 0 jud siya mag-start, and then most likely length minus 1 jud siya, which is the last index of the array. Okay? Nakuha na niyo karon na idea sa array? Do you guys follow? Okay, good. So now let's have an application of array. So let's have application. So let's say for an instance, we are going to store arrays 10. Okay, so this will define an array of size 10. Okay, index niya with index 0 to 9. Okay, ana? Right. So another one is, let's say, int val equals, this is, kung mag-inani siya, this would mean na you are initializing an array. Initializing an array. So you initialize an array of, it has numbers 2, 5, 56, 19, 10, 123. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ang index niya is, ang length niya is 6. So pwede nato na siya i-populate sa ato ang using loop. So let's say for an instance, int I is 0. Okay, and then you have here I is less than val dot length. Tanaw to kung na-length si array, wala. So dili siya. So unlike sa Java. So anyway, val, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try na to lend daw. And val. Dili gapon, sa di siya object. So ihapon na lang dyan na to 6. And then we have here I plus plus. Okay, if you want to display all the values of val, you use val and then I, and then like this. Okay, so when you run the program, it will display numbers 2, 56, 19, 10, 123. Okay, because you initialize your value as to have these elements. Okay, now what if gusto na ko sa inputs from user? So if you want to have an input from user, actually nanata ganina. So you have here enter value. Okay. So kung gusto ka na I counter like asa mag-start, and then syempre kay lain man siya enter value 0, mag I plus 1 ta. Para enter value 1, but again it is actually stored to 0. Okay, again ha, it will be stored to 0 pero ang display niya is enter value 1 kasi 0 plus 1. Okay. And then in num I. Okay. Right? So let's say kani siya na loop dire. This is loop for entering data. Okay? Next, ang sunod nimo ano dire is loop for extract, sige, adding na lang, adding data, adding the elements. So, entering data or elements. So this is the advantage of array kasi when if you have only the purpose of entering value, you can have that in a separate array. And if you want to process these numbers right here, like for an instance, i-add ba nimo siya, you can actually do something like you can retrieve those data or those elements that have that were entered previously. So let's say I am going to get the sum of these numbers. Okay, so all I just need to do is to have here sum plus equals to num I, and then I could now display here the sum is sum. Okay, so of course I can do more with my array. So let's say for an instance, I want to backslash end line. I want to use the same elements of an array, and I want to extract the information. So this one is for extracting or to only display add numbers or add numbers among the elements. So I would need to have here if condition. So let's say if num I, okay, modulus 2 is equal to 1. If that's the case, ako siyang i-store sa string add. Okay? And then add plus equals to string num I as something in that. And then I will now display here add numbers are add. Okay, so that's it, no? I can do so much in array. Whenever I do it in the next line, in the next another line, and there's error here. What happened? So error is error redefinition of sum. Asa akong ay, okay, sorry. And then duha na akong sum. Tanggalon ako ning sum isa. So mali ang keyboard ato class, no? Pasensyain niyo ang keyboard nako. Palitan nag-bag-o. Okay, sige. Now enter value 12, 189, 189, 34, 25, 28, third, ay mo na to. 5, 6 naman ay tama. Anong 6 naman ay taman? Okay, 6 naman ay taman atong ibutang dapat 10. Okay? So balik ta. Ay 6 lang ako nabutang. So I have here 8, 4, 5, 100, 89, 23, 15, 17, 18, 25. So the sum is 229 for all the numbers that I have entered. And then add numbers are 5, 89, 23. Dapat napa si 17 and then 25 and 15. Only that akong nagamit diri na ano is 10. So kung possible, inyong buhaton ani na lang int max equals to 10 or capacity ba, no? So ibutang na niyo dira max and then dire para isa lang ka editan para atong ganina nahitabo is magsige tag change para isa lang ka change pag mayon ko og this one is 5 every time na relate ka na array is every time na relatively connected sa atong array is with that max capacity of 5. So if 10, so para isa lang ka edit para ato akong gibuhat nag-copy paste ko niya 6 di ay tanan ako ang loop. So 6 lang taman ang iteration. So balik. A good thing na inana na ay nainato atong program because at least correct na to. So the sum is 316 and then add numbers are 45, 19, 23, 17, duha ka 17 di ay, ayan, and 19. Okay? So question, alas 12 naman di ay. Question guys?
None po, sir.
Nothing.
Sige, maniud to na ta. Walay question.